y'all ever want to just talk about music? And I mean, like, not like trending music or like the next big up and coming rapper, R&B or country singer or classical or pop singer, whatever, anything like that. Just like music in general. I mean, like, not on some deep dive type of thing, but just like you want to talk about what makes you feel a certain type of way when it comes to music. And it's not like on some, oh, my music taste is top 10, yours is crappy because I'm tapped into the underground type of energy, but more like just like this really made me feel a type of way. And I want to explain this to somebody, but nobody kind of gets it. But if I feel like if they tried it, they might get it also. I don't want to talk about that today. So
this is not a banger. This is not a banger. And I know bangers. I know bangers.
What makes a good album to me? And I'm not going to pretend like I'm on some high level of musical understanding where it has to be like some, oh, the beats were this 10 out of 10, and when the concerto came in and the reverb and the EQ and I heard the bass riff here and the drums came, I'm not on that type of energy, but I do like when things make you feel. So for me, I'm gonna just keep it simple, be generic black guy today, and I'm not gonna freak you out with any weird music taste. So I'm gonna just keep it simple, right? Just gonna keep it to rap. And obviously, you hear rap a lot of days. A lot of times you don't kind of think rap can be very emotional, but a lot of rap is, if you don't touch the mainstream. Once again, I'm really not trying to be on some hipster, I'm so cool underground, but because like these aren't underground artists. When you get past the whole mainstream veil of rappers and you start looking for non-traditional rap, you find a lot of really cool stuff. And obviously this one, he's not famous, but I want to talk about Saba. Okay, Saba, I want to talk about his album Care For Me. His album Care For Me, I think, was one of the first times I ever cried listening to hip hop. And it wasn't even on like some, oh, this is crazy, this is, beautiful, but it's more like I heard it at the right time to where it spoke to me in a way that music hasn't spoken to me in a long time. And one, I'm not gonna go into too heavy details on what happened in my life during this time, but just a friend of mine had passed and I just happened to hear this album right after the fact. And when I tell you, I was literally fighting back tears hearing this album. It was crazy because I've never felt like that before. It was like he was speaking to me when he got to Prom King and Queen and then Heaven All Around Me. I was literally in the car about to go into work trying not to cry because this thing was the most beautiful project I had ever heard at the time. And it was crazy because I'm over here just like, what do you mean? You can't just hit me with these levels of emotions, these waves, this sense of vulnerability, right? And then I gotta go do this 9 to 5 at a retail store. it was rough, man. It was a rough day. I'm not gonna lie. I had to go into work. I had to do all the whatever's with the coworkers, and then just like play Care For Me in the background throughout my entire day because I wanted to be in that feeling of vulnerability. I don't know if that makes sense for a lot of people because some people don't get wanting to feel vulnerable in that regard. But for me, it helps when I need to feel something and I don't know how to express it. So I like to stay in that moment because it makes me feel like I can understand what people are going through, or it helps me understand what I'm going through sometimes. That's why Care For Me, personally, Care For Me is probably like a 10 out of 10 album. Well, I understand for a lot of people, it probably wouldn't be that, but for me, that album is like incredible. And what I would, circumstances aside, what I would give to go back and feel that for the first time is kind of crazy. Cause like, obviously I wouldn't want to go through a friend of mine dying again, but like, oh man, those raw emotions I felt, incredible. Sad, but incredible nonetheless. Another really crazy album for me is Mac Miller's Swimming. So, unfortunately, I got into Mac Miller like a year before he died. I'd heard a couple of the Mac Miller tracks before. They were cool. Nothing really like, it was really crazy for me. Even when I was younger, right? I used to keep getting Meek Mills and Mac Miller confused. Because I wanted to look up the Drake and Meek Mill's track, right? And I always Googled Mac Miller for some reason because I could never get those two names confused when I was younger. But then, like, when I got into him, it was on Swimming, and I was like, this man is experiencing everything I'm experiencing, and he's putting it into words on a beat, and it's amazing. It's beautiful, and it's so great. And then, like, he started doing other songs. He started doing like this pop punk rap thing with Anderson .Paak, and He did, what was the one, Divine Feminine, Immaculate, and then I was so ready for everything else he was gonna do, his evolution, his changing of genres in a sense where he became more of a funk rapper rather than just like a traditional rapper. He's more of a musician rapper, and then he died. And I hate that I got into him so late, and I never got to experience his growth. Like, that's probably like the worst part of being a fan of Mac Miller now, is that I'll never be able to see a concert. I'll never be able to hear any new projects. I'll never be able to see where he was gonna go. But it doesn't mean I can't appreciate where he's been, you know? After he died, I went through a lot of his discography, fell in love with a lot of it, and just like, I'm glad what I have, because it's good. It's really good music. But oh man, where he was going was probably gonna be a generational type of run when it came to music. And I'm really sad we don't get to have that. But yes, back to Swimming, right? Swimming is such a great album. Oh my days. I don't even say oh my days, but oh my days. Swimming is such a good album, bro. Everything about Swimming is almost perfect. Just like, let me pause for a second. Come Back to Earth. The opening to Swimming, Come Back to Earth, is such a crazy opening because it sets the tone for the rest of the album. And it's like, yeah, no, this is something that makes me want to just like be in the moment, because it's like a lot of things suck, and this helps you center yourself, and it's so crazy. Hurt Feelings, banger. What's the use? Banger. Perfecto is insane. Self Care also after that is crazy. It's just the whole album. I would highly recommend anyone, just kind of have someone speak to them in a way that you probably haven't been spoken to before. Listen to Swimming. I think Swimming is such a generational album that a lot of people that don't try non-traditional hip-hop have just ignored or missed in general. It is a 10 out of 10 album for me. And Circles is a whole video within itself, because Swimming and then in Circles is crazy, and I would have loved to see where Mac Miller was going, and it's always sad to know that he can't. But like, once again, I'm appreciative of what he gave us. His art is immaculate. For the last one I want to talk about in this video, right? It's kind of controversial. The artist himself is actually not controversial. He's just like kind of lame, unfortunately. And I know it's like crazy to say one of your more talked about artists is kind of lame, but like, I really like the guy, and he helped me in a dark time. And it wasn't on some, okay, I'm just gonna say that guy's name. It's Logic, right? I get it. Logic, Suicide Guy. It wasn't the Suicide song. Just, I'm gonna put that out there now. It was not the Suicide song. I don't like that song. That song is, I mean, it's got a great message. Not a good song. I'm sorry, it's not. But Logic is a good rapper, and I feel like a lot of people don't find that out because he's just really kind of corny, but like in a good way. If you appreciate it, if you if you can relate to anyone being socially awkward, I don't know if he is, but like if you can understand someone that's socially awkward, you could probably understand how Logic moves in certain situations. Like, you gotta keep in mind, this is a guy that grew up, nobody knew he was black. I didn't know he was black for the longest time because I didn't like Logic for like years. Like, I think to like his third project, I didn't even like listen to the guy. And it was just like, nah, this dude's corny. Like, point blank corny. This man really makes some good music. If you ignore like all the dumb and corny stuff he says, he really makes some okay music. And it's kind of hard. Like I said, I can't tell people I like Logic. Because one, I get made fun of, and that's fine. You know what? If I like the guy, I really could care less what people say sometimes. This is one of the cases where, like, you know what? If you don't like him, that's fine. Logic's first commercial album, Under Pressure, right? I heard that in a really low point of my life in 2017, I want to say, where I was literally just going to school, work, and then sleeping back to school. And I didn't have like too many friends at the moment, but I heard the intro to Under Pressure. And when I tell you, it's not the greatest intro of all time. It's really not. But like, it spoke to me. Genuinely Under Pressure's intro spoke to me in a way I clearly at that time needed to be spoken to. And like, it definitely helped me not be as depressed. And I know that's so crazy to hear that from a Logic song that isn't the Suicide song. But but like literally, right? It was just something I needed to hear, and it was crazy because I remember when I heard it the first time. I was in a class. I was in class. This is when I was in college. So I was in class. We were just working on a paper or something in a computer lab, and I just I was on YouTube, just bored. There's an autoplay or something on a music session while I was typing, and then this song comes on, and I just kind of pause, like, because it just started hitting some certain notes, and then I'm over here just like in the middle of us, not even typing, just listening. And I had to get up. I get up. I left. I walked around the corner. I put my headphones in my phone and played it on YouTube in the hallway, and just kind of like sat there and like just I didn't cry, but it definitely felt like I was probably on the verge of tears because this stupid intro of this man having kids yell at the end to say yeah was doing something crazy to my psyche, but it was like in the most positive way ever. So like it was such a surreal moment, and but he's back. I want to say he's back now. His music hasn't been as bad. Honestly, been pretty good. Like pretty much since I want to say no pressure was really good, and then we get to like College Park and Vinyl Days and Ultra 85. Ultra 85 was great. I loved Ultra 85. Ultra 85 was like a fun payoff for like a long while. But yeah, like all things considered, right? I know I started this video. I was saying music's so important to me and yada yada yada. But like these 3 albums, right, are some of the albums that really helped me formulate who I am today. And I feel like even if it isn't mainstream, or even if it isn't the most cool song in the world, you should still give them a chance and just try something new. Okay, yeah, that's it. Okay, bye.